Greetings, friends, and happy Thursday. The word for today is clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is the ability to see beyond physicality. And when we step into our capacity for vision, which all of us have, we are able to experience deeper meanings within the physical manifestations of the larger energies that are always around us. Clairvoyance enables us to expand in the present moment to higher levels of awareness. It also enables us to expand beyond time and experience meanings of the past and meanings of the future within this present moment. We use the Eon card to communicate our ability to step into this place of neutrality where we can hold the fullness of possibility and potential. So again, clairvoyance is our inherent and innate ability to step out and beyond and above physicality in order to experience a larger possibility or potential. As you know, if you follow the messages, this is my first year to move daily through the Sabian symbols, and it's been unbelievably brilliant for me, a brilliant experience for me to move through the solar activation of this month of Capricorn and experience how right now we're being infused with the abilities we need to experience our own personal power and the tools we have to transcend physicality in order to more fully be in physicality. And this is what we're all here for. It's what we're preparing for right now as we cross the threshold into the year of the Earth Dog. The 2018 year that I believe is bringing us into a new place at the table in terms of our connection to each other, to the galactic community of which we're a part. The world is so much bigger than we have known, and I firmly believe that and experience the truth that this is a year when we will experience those understandings and those truths at new levels in physical manifest form. So what I'm bringing forward today is what do I want to say? Well, I've been receiving a lot of magic about this. And some of the magical messages, and magic, remember, is just the experience of synchronicity or, synchronicity beyond what the physical rules of 3D can explain. And we learned last year in the Rooster Year that magic is just science that hasn't yet been defined. So I've been experiencing a lot of magic lately with answers to my questions about the year, and those answers are coming through physical oracles and synchronicities in my day, in circumstances, and they're also coming through the times when I consult the cards, oracle cards for clarity. And I want to share a couple of patterns that have been super strong over the last week. So first, if you followed the new moon spread, you know that the card in the position of circumstances was the Tower reversed, which signifies the fact that we are all restructuring and rebuilding and transforming within. This is an image we worked with a lot last year of the butterfly within the caterpillar metamorphosing within the chrysalis in order to emerge as a butterfly, a brand new form. And so when the Tower is reversed, one of the meanings is that this is an inner transformation, and rather than focus on external circumstances that feel confusing or chaotic, we need to take the opportunity to move within. That message is really strong. So the reason I'm bringing it forward is that every single spread I've thrown, which have been just a handful over the last week, when I've specifically asked for around the questions that I'm going to bring forward in a moment, when I've consulted the cards, I have received the Tower reversed as the central card of every spread, and there have been 5 of them. That card has been crossed with the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Discs. So this is a phenomenal affirmation of the fact that we are at a threshold. And then I will say that the reason that I've been consulting the cards regularly and very directly for advice and support and clarity and information, the reason I've been consulting them is because I have been experiencing a very specific and unusual and strong frequency of anxiety and fear at a certain time of the day for the last at least week, maybe longer. I'd have to look back in my journal, but the first couple of days I just assumed it was transitory, but it happens when I'm getting ready to go to bed and when I'm preparing for sleep. And this is in really strong contrast to the patterns I've experienced over the last year, where I really worked with sleep and was not having this issue at all. It's like a marked contrast. It happened suddenly, and it has become a pattern beyond a couple of days, which is when I know there's something bigger happening. I'm bringing it forward because of the messages that I've been receiving about this. The first thing is that the hours that I'm experiencing this challenge begin from 7 to 9 p.m., which are the hours of the dog. So right away, this is a message that I am feeling the infusion of potentials that are still shifting and adjusting in order to bring in something really big that is real and true. And it's requiring me to make adjustments within. And so the trigger of anxiety is the feeling of bigness and me needing to make some adjustments in order to come into alignment with that bigness and not interpret it as something bad that's going to happen, which is somehow how my body's reading the signature. So it happened again last night. Even though I did all my preventive measures and prepared for bed, did all my rituals, I felt fantastic. When I went into bed and fell asleep, I was awake within just a few moments with that signature. And I couldn't quite get underneath it. And so I realized there was something bigger happening. So I got up and did some a few serious practices because I realized there's something larger I was being called to explore, and this wasn't simply personal. And so I want to just share a couple of synchronicities that came out of that message because it's leading into the truth of what is unfolding for us right now. The first synchronicity was I pulled a spread called a Cross of Dharma spread, asking to connect with past and future potentials and also what I need to know about my capacity for embodiment and my capacity to connect with higher self. The first card in the center was the Tower reversed, and it was crossed with the Ace of Discs upright. This is absolutely the signature of affirmation that this is about stepping into a new potential in physical form. And then the spread unfolds. We're going to be working with this spread. It's the launch of our year, so we'll be working with this spread in Mystery School for sure when we meet next month and in the messages in the month to come. What I want to go to next is that in some diagnostics that I did around the spread I pulled, I got the information that the piece I needed to know for last night to connect with what this higher potential was related to past lives. And so what I was shown was that I didn't need to do a lot of deep work around the past lives since it was the night. What I needed to do was just, the invitation was to go to an oracle deck I have called Past Life Oracle Cards, and there would be a message for me that would give me a signature that would enable me to go back to sleep, which by the way I did immediately following this message. I slept normally all night and I woke up feeling great. So now here's another synchronicity. So these Past Life Oracle cards, I purchased in November. We used them for a last couple of circles that we had with Mystery School groups, and I used them once at the very beginning when I opened them. When I first opened the deck, I received, this is all going somewhere, believe me. When I opened the deck and I asked what I needed to know about past lives and what this deck, how this deck could help us in mystery school, if this was a good deck for us to work with. I drew 2 cards. The first one was, I can't remember the order honestly, but I drew 2 cards, and it was for above and below. And so the above card, galactic, signifying what the truth of who we are, that we are galactic beings, and this is what I believe we will be learning this year even more. So the first card was galactic. The second card was imprisonment or slavery. This is the exact story of the human family on Earth. We are coming out of a period where we have been locked into misunderstandings about the nature of reality and the nature of who we are, and returning to the awareness of our royal bloodlines, if you want to say it that way, that we are from the stars and that we are of what we would call divine origin. So what was spectacular about this was that message was super affirming, because that's the whole purpose of the mystery school. It's the purpose of our lives in this incarnation, to remember this and to help heal in ourselves and in our collective. What happened was, every time we used this card in circle that month, these cards came up out of the entire deck, and there are, I don't know, 60 cards in the deck. So that was a powerful affirmation that we are in this together, and this is what we are healing. So I hadn't gone back to the deck until last night. I lit a candle, I went to my personal altar. I prayed to ask what I needed to know before sleep about this signature that was being activated, and what I could do for my personal self to heal this signature of anxiety, so that I could show up for my own work. This is the card that jumped out of the deck. I shuffled several times. This card jumped out, and the next card told the story. I threw a 3-card spread. This was the card in the position of body, meaning this is what we're returning to, the actual, not just an intellectual or spiritual understanding, but we are returning this coming year to a seat at the table. We are returning to direct relationship with our ancestors and with our relatives and with those who are part of our family and our community. Body, mind, spirit, galactic in the position of circumstances, in the position of mind and awareness, trust and faith. Pretty much says it all. And I love that there's an angel there, because again, we are remembering the way in which we are angels. We are connected to angelic community, and those who we have called angels, again, are our helpers and companions. And it's time now to commit to receiving help and support that's available, because there is infinite support to help us with this very challenging and difficult transition. And then the final, remember the first time that we drew, that the first 3 or 4 times we used this deck, we received that, along with galactic, we received the card for imprisonment or slavery, acknowledging the last at least 13,000 years where we have been, our access to these higher truths has been limited. So the third card in the position of spirit was orphan. And this is making me feel emotional now, because this is the truth of how we have felt and how we each often feel, that we are orphaned here. Those of us who are from the stars and who are here to anchor the light and who have this lineage of divinity, all of you watching this message, there's a way in which we experience feeling abandoned, because in the depths of our being, we know that we are from the stars, and we feel isolated and alone. And we have for thousands of years. This card came up not in the position of circumstances and awareness, but in the position of spirit. This is what's being healed. We are returning to our birthright. And our job right now is to trust and have faith. There could be no more clear message. So I laughed when I got this. I said, thank you. I'm still not sure how much longer I'm going to be experiencing this personal discomfort, this dark night of the soul period that's happening for me for a few hours every evening right now. And I understand that it is part of what I need to show up for. The intensity of discomfort is part of growing pain. So, however you're experiencing it, use your tools, connect for support, remember to ask for help, and trust your visions, trust your sight, and know that we are expanding beyond the perceptions of physical limitation. And this is the time, it's now. So have a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon.